So the wife is away for an hour or so, and I thought maybe I'd make this video. Actually, I made a YouTube video about 5 weeks ago. I uploaded it, left it online for all of about 7 or 8 minutes, and deleted the thing because I thought the subject matter was maybe a little bit too weird and that it was too speculative in terms of talking about this UFO stuff, right? That I've had in my life for some reason since about 42. And in the other cases that I've talked about, myself and some coworkers drove under this huge triangular UFO back in 1994. And I've got the testimony of other coworkers, and there were articles in the paper about these things being seen. And then in 2012, twice in a week, my house in the city of Flint was surrounded at 3 a.m. by these huge beams of blue light. It was crazy. It was like a weird blue daylight around my house, right? And after that, a lot of crazy things happened. And my ex-wife saw that. I mean, she was totally freaked out by it. So, this stuff is kind of different. I don't know that it's anything weird, but I sense that it is. If I seem a little bit tired, on February the 3rd, this past February 3rd, I had a stroke. It's my second stroke. I had one 3 years ago. I've been lucky in that neither one of them caused any really serious, that I can tell, cognitive deficit or paralysis. I recovered pretty remarkably from both. But, I'm 73. I had a heart attack when I was 64. I've had 2 strokes. So I look a little tired. I am. I think what I'm going to do is integrate that piece of video that I had made and deleted into this. And just, I had these 2 things happen about 7 or 8, maybe 10 days apart, and they were both quite strange. And just want to run them by you and see what you think. And you can give me your opinions. You can tell me I'm crazy. You don't have to believe any of it. I don't care. For people that have had strange things happen, maybe this will help them a little bit to know that strange things do happen. And as I said, in these cases, I don't know that these things are something strange, but that's my sense of it. So, like 2 months ago, within a 7 or 8 day span, these 2 things happened. And the first thing was this. I go to bed one night, I lay on that couch because I don't want to walk upstairs, and about middle of the night, I wake up to have to go to the bathroom, frankly. So I sit up on a couch. It's the middle of the night. It's snowing very, very, very lightly, and it's a full moon night, so I can see really well. And I immediately look out that window because I sit up and I'm facing out that window. And what I see is this light snow, and parked in front of our neighbor's house, maybe 1,000 yards away, there is what I think is a salt truck with this huge bank of lights on it, which, it was didn't make any sense. Now that I think of it, it makes no sense, right? Number one, it's parked, right? It's not moving. It's barely snowing, and it's got these rows of orangish, yellowish lights. And that was the thing. I kept staring at it going, are those orange or are those yellow? And, and I was thinking, I wonder why it's just parked there. It's not snowing much, but I thought it must be a salt truck. And when did they start putting these huge banks of lights on a salt truck, And we've got one of those Alexa things, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to fall back asleep now. I'm sitting there staring at the zone. Asked her what time it was. I don't want to say it because it'll go off. I said, hey, what time is it? And she goes, the time is now 3:33, which that's kind of a button for me. These time that I actually went, yikes, right? And I swear to you, it said the time is now 3:33, and after it said that, immediately these lights started fading out, and dimming, right? They faded so far they turned blue. And when they went out, I thought I'm going to see the taillights of this truck and see it drive away because I can see real well. But when they faded out, I swear to you, there was nothing there. Nothing drove away. There was no vehicle. There was nothing there. It was just gone, right? And I don't know why it didn't weird me out horribly. I was just like, what? What just happened? In fact, I used the bathroom and went back to sleep. And in the morning, I woke up and thought, what in the hell was I looking at? That was, this. I tried to make an illustration of the lights. It's not very good, but I mean, it was just this bunch of lights that were orange but not orange and yellow but not yellow, and they dimmed and turned blue and they went out, and there was no truck. So I was like, what the hell was that? So now I'm just going to play that piece of video that I had made and uploaded it, then deleted. This is like 7 or 8 days after I see these lights, this happened, which it just all seems very strange to me. About 2 weeks ago, I went to bed, slept on the couch, laid down on the couch to go to sleep about midnight, woke up about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd sat at my computer for, I don't know, just a couple of minutes, and I looked down at my wrist, or actually my forearm, above my wrist, and I had these 3 little triangular dents in my arm. It looked like some kind of instrument. They were very angular and very well defined and not real deep. In fact, there were 3 of them and they formed a triangle, but the top one was not as deep as the other 2. And they didn't photograph real well. I took a picture of them, but I was like, what the hell is that? It looked like some kind of instrument had been placed against my arm. We've got a meat tenderizer out in the kitchen that's got these sharp little things, and it was just like some kind of device had been held against my arm or something and made these little triangular dents. And they were not there when I went to bed at like midnight. When I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I got these little dents. And like I said, they didn't photograph very well, but they were much easier to see in real life. I showed them to Linda, and she was kind of like, that's a little weird. So I decided to do nothing about that, because what do you do about that? Nothing. But a couple of days passed, and I get out of bed and I look down to see if those things had gone away. And instead, there's this kind of isosceles-shaped bruise, burn-looking thing, kind of confirming that something happened there. I don't know what. I showed some pics of this to a friend of mine, one of my best friends on the planet, and he showed them to a doctor friend of his who said, oh yeah, that's a bug bite, 100%. That's what he wrote. Bug bite, 100%. Well, I don't know of a bug that, leaves triangular dents in your arm, and then like days later you get this red mark thing that is not raised, or doesn't itch, it doesn't burn, there's no little hole in it like where a bug bit you. So that was pretty, in fact, it was so weird, I covered it up with a Band-Aid because I thought, I really don't want to look at this. This is a little bit too strange. So now it's 2 weeks later, and I've got these permanent little divots in my arm. Basically scars, and it doesn't seem like a bug bite would do this. And I'm like, what the hell is that from? I don't think you've got to be neurodivergent or autistic to go, gosh, that's unusual. Not sure what did that. So anyway, what I'm not saying is that I'm being stalked by aliens and they're coming to my house. And I mean, I don't know what this stuff is. I know it seemed odd to me. And, I don't know of a bug that bites you and, makes 3 little triangular marks in the form of a triangle that turns into a burn-looking thing that, for some reason, 2 of those marks left these permanent little divots, right? And I think it's probably worth noting, too, about a year ago, same scenario exactly, in terms of I went to bed on the couch, got up, I'm typing at my computer at like 9 a.m. I looked down, and at the same spot as my right arm this time, there was this round little red dot on my left arm. And it does look kind of like a bug bite, except there was no like hole where a bug would have bit you. It didn't itch, it didn't burn, nothing. And the strangest part was, by very late that night, it was gone, totally. When I say gone, I mean no trace of it whatsoever. So maybe you can tell me what you think. Maybe you know of a bug that bites and triangular marks, and I have no idea. Anyway, with that, I'm out. Hope this finds you well, and be nice to each other and keep your eyes to the skies. I think there's some stuff up there that we really don't know about. And there's too many of these damn UFO videos on YouTube. It's one reason I almost didn't want to make one. But I found this stuff weird, and you, like I said, feel free to cuss and discuss. Give me your opinions. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. It is what it is. But with that, I'm out.